Sarah Boone was born in Florida, a state known for its warm weather and beautiful beaches. She grew up like many children, exploring her surroundings and dreaming of the future. Over the years, however, her life took unexpected turns that would lead to a tragic outcome. In 2020, Sarah was in a relationship with Jorge Torres Jr. The couple lived together in Winter Park, Florida, a city near Orlando. Their relationship was marked by moments of joy, but it was also troubled by a history of domestic violence. Both Sarah and Jorge had been arrested multiple times for battery against each other. The incidents included serious allegations, such as Sarah being charged with battery by strangulation in 2018. This history created a volatile environment, often marked by fights and emotional turmoil. On February 24, 2020, Sarah and Jorge had been drinking wine together. They decided to play a game of hide and seek, a seemingly innocent game that would soon lead to death. Jorge was a thin and small man. He was 5'2" and 104 pounds. During the game, Sarah claimed she went upstairs and passed out in her bed. Hours later, she was awakened by her cell phone ringing repeatedly. It was then that she remembered Jorge might still be zipped inside a suitcase. When Sarah unzipped the suitcase, she found Jorge unresponsive. She immediately called 911, but it was too late. The Orange County deputies arrived to find Jorge dead. An investigation revealed that he had suffocated inside the suitcase for approximately 11 hours. The case took a darker turn when detectives discovered two videos on Sarah's phone. The first video recorded Jorge pleading for help, calling out Sarah's name in terror. Instead of helping him, Sarah was heard laughing and making cruel comments. In her words, she said things like, "For everything you've done to me, screw you. Screw you, Mr. Stupid. And that's what you get for cheating." She used profanity and mocked him as Jorge took his last few breaths. The second video also captured George's desperate calls for help. He begged for his life at one point and said, "I seriously can't breathe, Sarah. You gotta let me out." The recordings painted a disturbing picture of their final moments together. They showed that overall Sarah clearly knew that Jorge was having a problem, and she just chose not to unzip the suitcase. She even set up a camera beforehand, demonstrating premeditation. Prosecutors argued that Sarah had deliberately trapped Jorge inside the suitcase, while she later testified that he had willingly climbed in as part of the game. However, the evidence and history of their relationship raised serious questions about her intentions. In the courtroom, the history of domestic violence between the couple was discussed extensively. Both had faced charges for their actions in the past, and a temporary injunction for protection had been in place. This background made it clear that their relationship was fraught with tension and danger. On the final day of the trial, after hours of deliberation, an Orange County jury found Sarah Boone guilty of second-degree murder.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree.
Those in the courtroom were instructed by the judge to leave before the verdict was read if they thought they would have a strong emotional reaction. The family of George Torres, the man Sarah Boone was convicted of killing Friday night, got emotional once outside of the courtroom. They declined to speak. After mounting a defense that Boone was a victim of battered spouse syndrome, her attorney described Boone's reaction after the guilty verdict was read.
Just shocked. She's shocked. She felt like, she had a defense, as you know, and so she just, in shock. She said she would call me tomorrow morning, so we'll talk some more after she's had some time to think about it. I've had some time to think about it, but, we're obviously really disappointed.
Attorneys for the state said the decision brought some closure for the Torres family.
I think after 4.5 years and the numerous delays, I think they were finally just happy to see this case go to trial and be able to put this one in the books.
Now, the next phase is going to be sentencing, and attorneys for the state said they plan to have multiple family members speak to give victim impact statements in that sentencing hearing. The defense said they plan to have a doctor speak about Sarah and provide some of what they're calling mitigating evidence. That sentencing hearing is going to take place on December 2nd. Live in Orange County, Haley Crumpleholm, West 2 News.
The jury determined that her actions led to George's tragic death. The medical examiner confirmed that Jorge had died from suffocation due to being trapped inside the suitcase after their night of drinking. The story of Sarah Boone and Jorge Torres Jr. is just one heartbreaking example of domestic violence. Sarah's life changed forever on that fateful night, and now she lives with the consequences of her actions. The case serves as a grim reminder of the impact of domestic violence and the urgency of seeking help in troubled relationships.